tonight we've got these two journalists from Japan, and they're coming to do a story on the effect and the influence that their cuisine has had on our culture, to test, you know, our sense of authenticity towards their culinary food. So this gives us a real chance to showboat our authenticity on Japanese cuisine.
The Ministry of Tourism called. We've got journalists coming in from Japan because they're doing this piece on North America, right? How Japanese influence in North America. And they want us to serve them like an authentic Japanese dinner.
Like an omakase. The omakase really just means tasting menu in Japanese. It's just a series of tiny plates that go to the table, and it's completely up to the chef's discretion as to what those plates may be.
Yeah, like an omakase. They're really worried about it. Why? I don't know, I guess they're worried that we may offend them.
I'll make it very offensive. There's no question. This will be awesome. No, this will be great. I'm, like, totally into this. Taro, how are you?
It smells really good in here. Good to see you.
Well, there's two types of tuna that Japanese really love to eat. There is the maguro, which is that deep burgundy color that you traditionally always see in restaurants. And then there's the toro.
How big would this have been when it was caught?
One whole fish, head on,
Yeah,
218 pounds.
218 pounds? Wow.
Toro is the belly. Now, originally, because the toro wasn't as red, the toro was considered to be the peasant part. Only the wealthy had the maguro, and the toro was just sold off as fish stock. I want to throw this whole piece on the barbecue.
Oh, maybe we should. Forget about tonight.
So nice. So, Mike, check out this fluke. See, look at his eyes. He's only got two eyes on one side. See that?
Right there.
Two eyes, yeah?
And how's this guy swim?
If he gets attacked on this side, he's really got a problem. There's no turning a blind eye to this gentleman.
Can I take over?
Let's give you this fillet. This is the mark of a true fishmonger. Look at the fillets. They perfectly match evenly. That means we're in the right place. That's what it means. It means we're in the right place. Tell me this doesn't rock. Sorry, it's not that I'm disheartening you. I still love you. I still love you. See, look at this. It's plump. See the way it bounces back, though? It's good. It's a good sign. If it wasn't going to be bouncing back, that'd mean it would be old. Match my shirt. Taro, I need to go because I need to get to work myself. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye. Black one. This is Michael in about 25 years, sitting down, pondering whether or not he made the right decision.
Wondering why I went into business with my brother. Good deal for you.
But it just spent, I don't know, how much?
$12.
$12?
Good deal. This is $8.55, and this is $5. I'm better off buying them individually.
That mine, it's sharp as a tack, just like a calculator. All the
Hell yeah.
all the numbers
There we
going.
go. So now we're buying more stuff and more stuff and more stuff.
He's complaining that we're spending too much money, which he always does.
Wow.
Grab a thing.
What am I, the
Well,
official,
okay, well, if you know what to buy, then I'll carry it. Here, I'll carry it, and you tell me, then you shop, and I'll just
tell me what you like. What would you like?
This master.
I like these.
I'm not going to use those, so
I don't care. I'll take them home.
how about putting them in a bag? Is that too much trouble?
Because they don't have any bags.
These are Japanese leeks.
Right? Daikon?
This is a weapon. Yeah, it's a daikon.
I know, it's huge.
It's nice though. When they're this big, they're not as likely to be bitter. Kombu?
Yes. Kombu, yeah.
Yeah, that's the dried kelp. It's not that expensive. It's like $3.50. It's nothing. You know what? You think that's expensive? This one's twice the price, and I think I like this one better. There.
This meal's going to cost us enough. We could have had a couple of tickets and flown to Japan ourselves.
So yeah, it's perfectly fine to spend money online, but geez, well, heaven forbid that we had to spend a few dollars on some interesting products.
Whoa, we've got that beautiful wine
Coming from wherever. Okay, so I need, yeah, it's different. It's different because you appreciate it, that's why.
How often is sake served generally in Japan? Do we use it as common as we use wine?
Exactly, yes.
I'm really, really excited about these people that are coming in. Tonight, we've got these two journalists from Japan, and they're coming to do a story on the effect and the influence that their cuisine has had on our culture, to test, our sense of authenticity towards their culinary food. So this gives us a real chance to showboat our authenticity on Japanese cuisine. So tonight, the first course will be the sashimi plate with 6 different items, which we normally run every night. We're going to have a series of different things that are celebrating different techniques in terms of what they do. So I've bought these really cool, clear teacups. We're going to put the squid in raw. We're going to pour in a chrysanthemum dashi broth. The other thing that I managed to score are these beautiful surf clams. These clams are gigantic. And the thing about these clams and why they're so celebrated in Japan is that they're so sweet. They literally pry these things open and they eat it raw. And what I'd like to serve with that, I want to serve a sweet little relish to enhance, the natural sweetness of the clams. We've got some beautiful sugar apples in. We're going to make a nice relish out of those. We're going to get some beautiful fluke, and we're just going to do fluke sashimi, slice that, and have that sitting on top of the tempura as well. And we have some beautiful amberjack. We're going to just slice that again and do a nice, beautiful sashimi with it's sitting on top of the Japanese mountain potato. So that's basically our first course.
What I thought would be kind of fun was I invited Sho to give us a little refresher course on sake.
Thanks, Michael.
What's the percentage alcohol in it?
Usually it's about 15 to 16%.
How often is sake served generally in Japan? Do we use it as common as we use wine?
Exactly, yes. Yes. A lot of the traditional citizens of Japan, they drink sake with their meal, or after meal, they just sit in front of their television or with a family.
Knock back a bottle of sake.
Try this one. This is the onigoroshi. This is a demon slayer. This is a very traditional Japanese sake. It has a little bit of a kick. The nigori actually means cloudy in Japanese. It has a nice sweet aftertaste, okay? And they use an open weave filter to allow the rice sediments to flow through. And that's excellent for food matching with spicy or any Asian or even contemporary cuisine.
This is the original form of sushi. This was the very first form of sushi ever invented. Oddly enough, it was invented by the Chinese and not the Japanese. So this is obviously the bottom piece. I like to line it just with a bit of parchment paper so that the rice isn't going to stick. The idea is that there has to be equal portions of every layer that we're building. Now, in order to flatten this, that's where this particular thing comes true. And this is how we start building. We start just pushing down and pushing down and pushing down. We've got a perfect bed here that's been evenly laid. You can see how the rice is just perfect. We've got our edamame, which is our green soybeans. Some fresh shiso as well. Sort of like a cross between a mint and basil. So we're adding our soy-dried tomatoes. Now we're going to add the red shiso. Gotta make room for our last crust, which is just going to be some fresh mangoes that Ted has graciously diced for us ahead of time. Some rice. Much like the aji, we're going to have to apply some pressure on it and keep it into the fridge for about 4 hours so that it sets, and then we take it out and we'll slice it. We'll have a nice little tiny square, and that'll be the starch for this plate. We've got these beautiful nashi pears from Japan here. We've just pickled these, and all I want to do is have them off to the side. We don't have anything on the plate that is something kind of refreshing to sort of, a palate cleanser. So I think that the pickled nashi pear off to the side will be brilliant with that. And then last but not least, we were lucky enough to score this huge, awesome toro. Because it's the belly, the fat content is a lot higher, therefore it's a lot more flavorful. And you can see how beautiful it is in terms of the layering. What we're going to do is we're going to make this matcha crust. I have my green tea crust here. which basically consists of the matcha, and we've added a touch of wasabi and a touch of rice flour as well, just so that the rice flour is just going to act as a sort of a neutral agent between the wasabi and the green tea. We're going to sear this so fast, we want to keep this raw. And these people would walk out of the restaurant if they came in and they saw that we had overcooked the prized toro tuna. This is what we call our miso basic, which is just the shiro miso, a bit of sesame oil, a bit of rice wine vinegar, and a bit of peanut oil. We've used those beautiful Japanese cucumbers, julienne them, add a bit of this vinaigrette. We're just going to get it on top. Cashew egg sauce. Cashews are one of their most prized nuts. It's just a matter of using toasted cashews, some egg yolks, and maybe a bit of dashi. Let's get organized, let's get focused, let's think Japanese today. Tonight, we've got these journalists from Japan.
Here for dinner this evening?
Yeah.
What's the name of the reservation? Okay, great. Let's start this way.
He's doing a story on how Japanese cuisine has spread into North America. So we've been asked by the embassy to make sure he has an authentic experience. Good day, gentlemen. Can I offer you some sake?
Daiginjo, please.
Daiginjo?
Yes.
Right away. I want people to carry this out. And then you have to come with the teapot or the coconut dashi inside.
Then we have the wasabi from the dashi to create the shabu shabu.
Oh, that's interesting.
Here, the chef is trying to emulate the Japanese flag.
Oh, rising sun. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about this because there's been many Japanese people that have come and eaten in this restaurant, but for the first time, they're coming for a direct purpose in terms of the fact of their focus of what this evening is all about.
Roman, how are you doing? How are you enjoying it?
Good.
Jeff?
Good. How are you?
Very good. How are we finding the flavors?
They taste very authentic, I think.
Authentic?
Yeah.
Great. That's what we were looking for.
When I eat Japanese food, I never walk out thinking that I haven't been indulging in exotic flavors or anything, because they have everything incorporated into their food. I think it's a type of cuisine that you'll never learn enough about. These days, everybody has these concerns about what they eat. This is why Japanese food is like a natural fit for our times these days. It can be very quick and fast and healthy. There's so much that you can work with. The sushi, the sashimi, use of seaweed. The use of miso is very, very good for you. And the flavor is like unbelievable. And that's the thing I love about this food. We're going to show the oldest form of doing a miso flavored or base marinated fish. First of all, let's make the marinade. So I've got some sugar, I've got some Japanese hot mustard, I've also got blonde miso, shiro miso, which is one of the saltier misos. The reason why we're adding the sugar is going to balance the saltiness of the miso. We're going to lay some cheesecloth, then some miso down on the bottom of the plate, then this fish, cheesecloth again, spread more miso, this marinade, on top. We're going to have to tie it down between two slate. We're just going to put it in the fridge, leave it there for 24 hours. After that, you see how the miso is totally incorporated into the fish. So when we pick this up and cook it, I just want to get the skin a little bit crispy. We want that fish heavily seared on the one side. We're not intending to cook it all the way through because remember, the miso has partially cured this fish. But the top part, we're going to get our friend here, the blowtorch. Now, by using a blowtorch, we get to caramelize this fish beautifully. Now, what's going to be sitting underneath the fish is we've got these beautiful white peaches here. We're just going to braise these peaches in sake sugar and lemongrass, and that's it, because I don't really want to fool around too much with the natural flavors of this peach. We're going to stuff that peach with some tobanyan, which is a red bean fried rice, because Japanese traditionally have rice with every course. That's the rice part of the act, and it's going to be a bit of a surprise. They might be whispering to each other when they're having this dish, like, gee, I wish I had some rice, but then they'll cut into the peach, and they'll see that there's some rice in that dish. We've taken some beautiful gailan, which are rabe shoots, and we're going to be steaming these later on. And we're just going to have that hanging over top of the fish. We're going to garnish the plate just a little bit of the yuzu rind. Add some hijiki. Again, it's going to give some hijiki seaweed, some of that nice, slightly anise flavor. Yuzu and yellow carrot sauce. Just going to spoon that across and around. And finally, to garnish, we've reserved the bone, and we've just crisped it up. And I've got the miyoga that's been poaching in the sauce. And miyoga is the flower bud of ginger. Just going to cover up the head of our fish. And that's it. That's our dish. White peaches are famous in Japan. They're sweeter. They're not as acidic as regular peaches. We're about a minute away.
So what we have here is miso cured ahi with a sake poached white peach and a yellow carrot yuzu glaze.
Aji is one of the most celebrated fish in Japan, and it's one of the most expensive fish to find. And so therefore it's only used in very, very high-end restaurants. What we've done today, I think we've stayed true to their culture. I think we're going to do well. I think they're going to appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Evening, gentlemen.
So thank you for very delicious food.
Gentlemen, your next course is a green pea crusted toro with the pickled nashi pear and pressed sushi terrine. Enjoy.
So I started doing some research. I came up with this really kind of interesting drink called kanju. It means summer breeze. It's like basically a green iced tea. One of the main ingredients is sadachi, Japanese lime. They're really aggressive. I've got the sweetness from the rock sugar, and this is the matcha, right? So you get the water on the outside, and it's going to be kind of fun to garnish it with the actual green tea powder, the matcha. We're going to put a little bit of vodka on it.
Right, of course. And for garnish, the crispy
Shiso, Japanese mint. That's beautiful. Special cocktail for you?
Oh, thank you.
And it works great with this dish because my brother, he used the same matcha in the toro.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Chef himself, Levine will be out and explain this for you.
Oh, okay.
Evening, gentlemen. What I have for you here are some mango dumplings, some apricot glaze, sweet and sour cherry paste with some black sesame ice cream, and I've got some papaya tempura. So enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you for very delicious food. So everything is so delicious. I like it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and especially ahi, the fish, ahi.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad you gentlemen came down, and come and say goodbye on your way out. You're more than welcome, okay?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Come on.
They had a good time.
How much does this little dinner cost us?
Well, let's just say I wouldn't be planning any trips in the near future.
Thank you very much for very delicious food. Yeah, I didn't expect I could eat a delicious food like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. どういたしまして。どうも。ありがとうございます。
These are edible flowers?
No, they're poisonous.
That's so far. Why don't you eat one? Do us all a favor.
You're extremely distracting.
Really?
And I love you to death. And you're the best brother I've ever had.
I'm your only brother.
Best, I know. But if you could just leave us alone and let me get back to work, because I think I'm starting to trail here.
If you were just a little better organized, you would.